And welcome back, everyone, to Box Office Report today on the 4th of August, 2024. Did not get the box office right. My gut told me Trap was going to overperform over Twisters. It did not. And Carrollton Purple Crayon didn't even make it into the top 5. So, Deadpool and Wolverine has a fantastic second weekend. $97 million. And that's without the actuals come in. Remember, Sunday's always the estimates. So that could go up or down a little bit. Twisters made our $22.6 million. It's doing very well at number 2 spot. Number 3, Trap debuts with $15.6 million, which isn't that bad. It's about the long term that we're going to have to wait and see. Despicable Me 4 made our $11.24 million. It's doing fantastic. And Inside Out 2 continues to just stun the box office. But let's talk about stunning the box office right now. Deadpool and Wolverine, $97 million, only dropped 54%, which is basically right where I thought it would drop. I'm glad it dropped. I speculated it could drop into the 40s, but I didn't think it was. I heard some people saying, oh, it's going to take like a 70% drop next week. Expect a 70% drop. It was not taking a 70% drop, even with it being so front heavy. That being said, I would not have been shocked to see more like upper 50s to like low 60s, because again, front heavy film, but $97 million this week. I was a little worried because I saw it only made 28 this Friday. Or previous Friday, but then it made 38 and then 30. So And it goes to show many things. One, first off, it's now set another record. It's become the highest grossing R-rated movie domestically of all time. Someone asked me in my Q&A whether or not I thought it would be Passion of the Christ, and I said if it was tracking at the numbers they said it was, and it's good, and it gets a repeat viewing, it was definitely going to do that. Crossed it in its sleep. It's now a question of where the record's going to be set for the next highest grossing R-rated film record. It's clearly going to be over 500. It's only 105 away, and it's going to be doing fine these next couple weeks. It's going to have its big road, it's got a big stop, the big movie that's going to come and start kind of take away a bit of its momentum is going to be Alien Romulus, but that's not for another 2 weeks. We got Borderlands, which is not going to be challenging this film much at all. So it's going to have at least another really good week, maybe even dropping less than 50 this week. Because I've noticed when movies are good, that second weekend drop is usually the biggest, and then the repeat viewings really start to kick in when it's a really rewatchable film. So we'll wait and see what the further weeks are going to do. But it's now the second highest grossing film of the year at $824 million. Now, that being said, with the run that Inside Out 2 is having, I do not see it catching Inside Out 2. I don't see that happening. It's just not going to happen. I don't think that's going to happen. What will it cross $1 billion at the rate it's going? Yeah, pretty safe to say it's going to cross $1 billion. I don't think many of us are now in much denial about that. There are definitely some. Now, I will say something though to two effects. One, could this have been a better opening secondary weekend had a couple things not happened? Yeah, I think it could have. Now, what are those two things? One, there seems to be this really pathetic bashing of this film from a very vocal minority. And, no, look, if you didn't like the film, that's fine. It's fine. There's nothing wrong with not liking the film. If it didn't work for you, the other Deadpool movies didn't work for you, that's fine. But I saw this, I didn't watch the video article, but I'm like, these, like, apparently very Christians, like, this movie's anti-Christian, we walked out after 30 minutes, and everyone, including myself, was like, did you not know the movie you were going to see? Like, did you legitimately not know? Then you get a lot of these critics saying that it's got no heart, it's all flash, no bang, and look, whether you like the film or don't, I'm sorry if it didn't work for you, but you are sticking your head in the sand about like the story of what's going on there. The movie has a fuck ton of heart, okay? It has a very strong heart to it. It's clear it does. And look, now if you didn't feel the emotional vibes that were coming through when the heart of the film kind of shows up, that is entirely fine. Me saying it has heart is a bit of a subjective opinion mainly, but it's clearly evident if you're watching the film that there is heart placed throughout the entire movie. Like, I don't know what you're talking about when it says it has no heart. I really don't. But along with all these idiots, and then there was like an old work buddy of mine who I'd seen one or two movies with. I like him as a person, but he does come off as contrarian. I feel like he just doesn't like stuff to not like stuff. He gave like Deadpool out of Wolverine a 2 out of 5. And I'm like, first off, that means nothing to me. A 2 out of 5 is still 40%. Or it's a 4 out of 10 basically, which means it's below average but not god awful. So if you're gonna rank something, at least do it 1 out of 10 so you can get a proper percentage rating there. But ranking something's bullshit because you're not going to. Everyone's rankings are different. 2 out of 10 for one person might mean 2 out of 10 for someone else or whatever, or 2 out of 5 in this case. So and I'm like, okay, dude, I know you well enough to know you're kind of you like to go against the grain. If it doesn't work for you, it's fine, but you really do like to go against the grain. I think partly just to be a contrarian. Regardless, there is another sect of people, though, that the minute I came back the next day from the movie, I'm like, can't wait to see this again. I'm scrolling to my YouTube feed, and I'm not encouraging you to do this, but I can't stop you if you do. Who, no joke, recorded the entire movie and put it on YouTube. I mean the entire goddamn movie and put it on YouTube. And, by the way, like if you've gone through in their feeds and seen like all these HD quality clips of the movie, I do not believe those are real clips that the movie, like the studio put out. Now, maybe they did. But, A, I don't think you should be doing that in just the week your movie comes out. And second, to the people who recorded the entire movie now, I have never had a problem with people like recording audience reaction to movies or something like that. And especially a lot of people who do that and like say, because I don't get like copywritten, have the audio up only and then you react to it. I've never had a problem with that. People do that all the time. It's all good. Or just like quickly recording a scene or whatever and putting it online. I can avoid those. It's fine. Granted, I got spoiled on a big spoiler in the movie because someone decided to do that before the movie came out, so you can go to hell. But if you really are one of these people who records the entire movie of anything and puts it out the day of release, you're scum. Sorry, I don't care if you're trying to help people who can't go see the movie. I don't care if you think you're doing a service. I don't care if you don't care. You're scum. You are taking away views from the movie, so this box office is never going to be the full potential it theoretically could have been. There are going to be people, I guarantee you, who watch that online and say, I don't need to go out and spend my money now. I don't need to go and support this movie. I don't need to go support the theaters because someone was asshole enough to record the film and put it online. And YouTube is not doing their job and flagging that shit. And like, it's just so disrespectful. It is so disrespectful, and it pisses me off to no end. Now, luckily, the movie will obviously be fine. The movie's already made its money back. As it turns out, by the way, the movie only had a $100 million marketing budget against a $200 million budget. I am actually shocked it was that low, because that means this film basically made its money back opening weekend. The whole kit and caboodle, because it made $444 opening weekend. So that means it only had to have made $450. So it made it back the next day, the following day. And now this movie is just raking in the dough. It still doesn't change the fact I'm very disappointed in a lot of... I'll tell you right now, not that I believe anyone who did this views my channel, but if you did view my channel, I normally don't try to be antagonistic to my viewer. I really don't. If someone says something that annoys me, I will be a little defensive or a little confrontational, but mostly because I think they're being unjustifiably arrogant or rude or whatever, and I try to still be respectful. That said, every once in a while, I will call people out and just being complete jackasses. If you are someone who has done this, recorded this whole film, and shown it to others, and said, hey, you don't have to go see the film now, go fuck yourself. Don't watch my channel. I don't care about you. You are a terrible... Okay, you're not Hitler or anything, but you know what you basically understand. You're not a movie fan is what I'm saying. You're not a respectful movie fan. I know I'm going off a little bit here, but it really pisses me off when people are this dumb and disrespectful. It really does. Because it hurts it hurts all the work these people did, the success they're having. It hurts all of it. Now, luckily, as we just pointed out, this film only dropped 54.1, possibly less or more, a little bit, this weekend. So it clearly didn't hurt it that much, but I am willing to bet it hurt it by a percentage point or two. Not anything drastic. It probably wouldn't have been more than like 52, less than 52, or more than like 56, or whatever. But point is, it wouldn't have been by a lot, but it's something because those videos got a lot of views. Regardless, we're going to keep an eye on Deadpool and Wolverine. It is doing fantastic and good for it. It should be. Next up is Twisters, made $22.6 million. Hey, look, it's doing the best it can on the grossly massive budget it's on. And again, I have found two conflicting things. Some say it's on a $155 million budget, and the marketing budget brought it up to $200 million. Others I've seen just say it's $200 million, so I still don't know what the real budget on this is. If we are to say that it is $200 million total, well, the film is getting close then to breaking even, and it's got great legs. If, however, it's $200 million plus marketing, it's still going to have a ways to go, which I don't think it's going to be able to do. Again, it's got great legs. It's got fantastic legs, and it knows how to use them. But it's not looking like it's going to be able to make its money back, which sucks. Universal's actually hasn't had a bad year this year, but this one I think is going to be a big hit for them. Trap debuts at $15.6 million. Now, if I remember correctly, Trap is, let's see here, is made on about a budget of only about $30 million. This is actually very important, because Trap didn't do all that well with the critics, although it's not bad. In fact, what's the current critical score right now? Last I checked, it was like 49. It was just under the half and half mark. Let's see here. Let's see. What do we got here? Trap, 47. So it's dropped a little bit, but 40s are not a god-awful number to be in. It's not certified fresh. It means less than half of the audience critics liked it, but it wasn't a bad little film. I expressed the issues I had with it. But against a $30 million budget, it probably has about $30 million in its marketing budget. That means the film has to hit about $90 million. Well, maybe not even 30. It might only have like 20 more. It had 2 trailers. That's ultimately what it came down to. It had 2 main trailers. So maybe it's only at 50 then? Trap marketing budget. Let's see if we can find that. Trap marketing budget. Let's try this again. Trap 2024 marketing budget. Okay, marketing budget. Let's see if they posted what it is. Because again, not every film posts the marketing budget. Will be R-rated. How to create a marketing budget. With a $20 million budget, and considering the scale down campaign compared to big budget. Okay, so it's got $30 million. Apparently, it is. They are saying it's around $20 million is the marketing budget. Okay, all right. So that means this film probably only has to make what? For 50, 75 million? It opens not bad. It opened with half its budget back. It's going to be about the legs on this thing. And international. And right now, international is piss poor. But if the international could maybe kick in another 20 some odd million, maybe it could break its money back. We'll have to keep our eyes out for that. But Warner has had a relatively good year this year up until Furiosa came. So we'll have to see. You know, I know films that, talking about Universal having a good year, Despicable Me 4 is currently the 3rd highest grossing film of the year with $752 million. Made another 11 this week. 3rd highest grossing film of the year so far. That's nice. Like, that does put it above, if I remember Despicable Me here. Despicable Me. Let's see here. That puts it, if I remember correctly, well above the first one, if I remember. Well above the first one. It still puts it below the second and the third, though, which puts it well above that. It's already surpassed that, but it puts it below the second one, which is 9-something, 970, and the other third one, which is $1 billion film. So it does put it below there, but still, he's nice, to quote Borat. And Garfield, will you stop? Currently, Garfield's at 251. I'll believe it if it stays there. I don't know why they keep doing it. Week after week, they keep taking back the money and putting it back. I don't know why they're doing it. I really don't. It's like some kid playing a joke on their admin parent and just being like, oh, no, Garfield didn't make that much. I didn't like that film. It didn't make that much. Yes, it did. No, it didn't. I don't know what is going on with that. I really don't. Anyway, Inside Out 2, as we kind of just discovered, $1,555 million. So not only does it currently make it the highest grossing film of the year, by far, and probably will stay the highest grossing film of the year, because honestly, while Deadpool will certainly make $1 billion, I feel very confident in that. I don't see it making, and it will probably be the highest grossing R-rated film of all time. It's not catching 1.5 billion, sadly, I don't think. But if we go to all time, it does still keep it as the 10th highest grossing film of all time. Keep it as. It is the 10th highest grossing film of all time. That is ridiculous. The question, could it become the 9th or 8th? I mean, look, it's 100 and, what, that's 8. That means that's 8. No, that's not 8. That's, yeah, so 8. It's 108 million away. Let's say 109 million away from the 9th spot. And you add another 8 on there, so 117 away from the 8th. Sorry, it's 109 away from the 9th and 117 away from the 8th. And it is currently in its, what is it, 9th week now or something? 8th week. And it made 6.7 million this week. I really don't think it can make that much money again. But again, the international keeps kind of trudging along for this film. Legitimately just keeps going for this film. And we're, like, domestically, it does actually still have some records to cross. Where does it stand domestically right now? Well, it stands as the 12th highest grossing film domestically of all time. But legitimately, with only 10 million more to go domestically, it could beat Barbie for the 11th. It could do that. Absolutely, it could. I don't see it beating Jurassic World, though. That is still 28 million, 27 million away. Yeah, I don't see it doing that. But crossing the 11th, that's more than doable. That's highly possible. Crossing the 9th and 8th highest grossing film, though, I don't think so. I reserve judgment for next week to see, like, hypothetically, if it's somehow over 1.6, I might change my tune. I don't think it will be. I don't think it has another 109 to 117 left in the tank. But then again, I'm surprised it even crossed the $1.55 billion marker. I was surprised it crossed the $1.5 billion mark. So, I don't know. We'll see what the legs on this thing look like still. This, by the way, again, Take Note Studios, is why you give a film a full theatrical release. I will hammer that point in every time I come in and do this video. Harold and the Purple Crayon. Now, likely this film is not made on a big budget. Let me get that out of the way right now. It's not made on a big budget. Harold and the Purple Crayon. Yeah. Harold and the Purple Crayon is not made on a very large budget. About 40 million. Okay, about 40 million. And if you saw my review for it, I didn't think of it that highly, but I didn't think of it that poorly either. It's the same type of film as Clifford the Big Red Dog or Lyle Lyle Crocodile. Literally the same type of film. These storybooks that had no story to them, just the ongoing adventures of these characters, given a bare bones story. But against the $40 million budget, $6 million, $9 million worldwide is not going to cut it. And it does not have a good review score right now. It does not. Last I checked, it was 29%. What is it currently? Did it go up or down, maybe? Did it go up or down? Did it go up or down? Did it? Oh, God. No, it did not. It went down by another %. Oh, dear. And the best quote, oh, no. So, yeah, not good. Not good for Harold. Why didn't people go out to see it? I think they barely marketed it, first off. Like, barely marketed it. So I think people not knowing about it doesn't help. But, yeah, I think also word of mouth doesn't help. And I don't think people really cared about it that much. I don't know. Like I said, there was two families of three there. Well, two families of three there. So it wasn't like people didn't completely know about it. It's just no one cared that much. Longlegs made another $4.1 million. $79 million. It's a good number. It's made on basically 10. So they definitely did well here. Certainly. A movie called The Firing Squad made 1.6, based off a real story based on the true story of 3 Christian prisoners who faced execution in a third world country and how their joy in Christ results in a stunning conclusion. Is that Cuba Gooding Jr.? Wait a minute. Is it? I mean, yeah, he's not doing a lot of work these days, but oh my God, it's oh God, it's Kevin Sorbo. It's Kevin Sorbo and Cuba Gooding Jr. And I grew up with Hercules, man. I liked Kevin Sorbo's Hercules, but the guy turned out to just kind of be a douche. So, and by the way, I'm not disparaging his experience in the Hollywood system. Apparently, he did have some creepy experiences with some people. But yeah, he's kind of a douche. Because now, granted, at the same time, he can do what he wants. He made enough money off Hercules to be able to do what he wants. And apparently he's got obviously a guy of faith because he's done a lot of those God's Not Deads. If he was the main antagonist in God's Not Dead, one where he like is kind of dicked around by an angel, played by one of the guys from Cheers. So now granted, these guys are also just working, so maybe they do it for the money, but still. And Cuba Gooding Jr., I love Cuba Gooding Jr. I wish he just became a more A-list actor than he ultimately did. He kind of just fell into obscurity. Regardless, Quiet Place, day one, it's pretty capped out, 258.08. It's almost like putting it day and date release a month later early is not a good idea. Luckily, it still made its money back, so that's all good. And Bad Boys Ride or Die, it's creeping in on 400. Will it do it? Who knows? I am very curious if it can do it or not. So that's the box office for this week. Let's actually now look at, that's the worldwide for right now this year. Let's actually look at now the coming weekend, which we have Cuckoo. It Ends With Us, which is based off a best-selling book, and Borderlands. I feel very confident in saying Deadpool and Wolverine will still be number one this week. Borderlands is not tracking high, but it's tracking higher than what the drop-off for Twisters is going to look like, so I will say Borderlands at number 2. After that, Cuckoo's probably not going to... It's been getting more trails, but both these are probably not going to end up with very big releases. So I'm going to say Twisters will be number 3. Then, let me look at the rating. Nope. That's over here. Here we go. Let's see here. So, yeah, Deadpool, Wolverine, Borderlands, Twisters. Do I think either of these can make double digits is the question I have to ask myself. Cuckoo might. But Cuckoo might not. It Ends With Us because it's based off a best-selling book might as well. I just have barely seen less marketing than Cuckoo. I will say that I'll go Cuckoo, and then I'll go Despicable Me 4 because it's taking tiny drops. So again, Deadpool, Wolverine, Borderlands, Twisters, Cuckoo, and Despicable Me 4. I could be very wrong on that. We'll find out. Until then, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. I'll see you guys for the next one. Later.